Young and the Restless spoilers shock Amy Lewis and her secret agenda. Amy Lewis entered Nate Hastings' life with a story that tugged at his heartstrings. A woman claiming to have lost her only son, she carried an air of sorrow that was almost palpable. Nate, compassionate to a fault, couldn't help but feel for her. Her vulnerability spoke to his own innate desire to help others, and before long, Amy had earned his trust. But questions lingered in the shadows. Was her son truly missing? Or was this a fabricated tale, carefully crafted to elicit Nate's sympathy? While Nate was quick to embrace Amy's narrative, not everyone was as convinced of her sincerity. Audra's growing suspicion. Audra Charles had always been intuitive, especially when it came to people who might threaten her happiness. From the moment Amy arrived, Audra couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The older woman's charm and sorrow seemed too calculated, too perfectly tailored to win over Nate.
"Can't you see it?"
Audra asked Nate one evening. "She's playing you. There's something she's hiding." Nate frowned, clearly uncomfortable. "Audra, she's been through so much. We should be helping her, not doubting her." But Audra wasn't buying it. She knew manipulation when she saw it, and Amy Lewis had all the makings of a master manipulator. Still, Nate's stubborn belief in Amy made it difficult for Audra to push further. At least for now. Amy's bond with Nate. Amy's influence over Nate deepened with every passing day. Her tragic backstory and nurturing demeanor filled a void he hadn't realized existed. When she suggested that he consider her as a surrogate mother figure, Nate didn't hesitate. "You've been like a son to me already," Amy said softly, her eyes brimming with tears. "Let me be here for you, Nate. Let me help you make the decisions you've been struggling with." Nate, eager for guidance and perhaps too trusting, began to let Amy into every aspect of his life. She became a constant presence, offering advice on his career, his personal relationships, and even his future. He didn't see it, but Amy was slowly tightening her grip. Devon's warning. Devon Hamilton, ever the skeptic, noticed the red flags long before Nate did. Having been burned by manipulative people in the past, Devon's instincts were sharp. He watched as Amy ingratiated herself into Nate's life, her influence growing alarmingly fast. "Nate, listen to me," Devon said during a tense conversation. "This woman isn't who she says she is. I don't know what her game is, but I'm telling you, she's dangerous." Nate bristled at the suggestion. "You don't know her, Devon. She's been nothing but kind and supportive." "And that's exactly why you should be cautious," Devon shot back. "People like her are good at making you believe they're harmless. Just watch your back, okay?" Audra versus Amy. Audra, unwilling to let Amy's presence derail her relationship with Nate, took matters into her own hands. She began investigating Amy's background, determined to uncover the truth. What she found only deepened her unease. There were discrepancies in Amy's story, places she claimed to have lived where no one remembered her, vague details about her supposedly missing son, and a series of financial transactions that raised even more questions. It was enough to convince Audra that Amy Lewis wasn't who she claimed to be. Confronting Nate with her findings, however, proved to be a challenge. "You're letting her manipulate you," Audra said, her frustration evident. "She's not here to help you, Nate. She's here to control you." Nate, torn between his feelings for Audra and his loyalty to Amy, struggled to process her accusations. "Why can't you just give her a chance?" he asked. "Not everyone has an ulterior motive." "Maybe not," Audra replied, her voice sharp, "but she does. And if you don't see it, she's going to ruin everything." The truth begins to unravel. Amy, meanwhile, sensed the growing tension and knew that Audra was a threat. But instead of backing down, she doubled down on her efforts to win Nate over. She began subtly planting doubts in Nate's mind about Audra, suggesting that she might not have his best interests at heart. "She's jealous," Amy said one evening, her voice soft but firm. "She doesn't like that you have someone else in your life who cares about you." Nate, already conflicted, began to question his relationship with Audra. Was she truly looking out for him, or was she letting her insecurities cloud her judgment? But Audra wasn't giving up. Determined to protect Nate, she confronted Amy directly. The two women clashed in a heated exchange, each accusing the other of having ulterior motives. "You're nothing but a fraud," Audra spat. "I don't know what your endgame is, but I'm going to make sure Nate sees you for who you really are." Amy smiled, her composure unshaken. You're scared, Audra. You know he trusts me, and you can't stand it. But Nate will make his own decisions. You can't control him. The final showdown. As tensions reached a boiling point, Devon joined forces with Audra to uncover definitive proof of Amy's deceit. They dug deeper into her past, finally uncovering a shocking revelation. Amy's son didn't exist. The story she had used to gain Nate's sympathy was a complete fabrication designed to exploit his compassion. Armed with this evidence, Audra and Devon confronted Nate. She lied to you, Audra said, her voice trembling with emotion. Everything she told you, it's all fake. Nate's world crumbled as the truth sank in. He had trusted Amy, let her into his life, and even considered her a mother figure. And now, he realized he had been played. Amy, cornered and exposed, showed her true colors. You're all so predictable, she sneered. Always looking for someone to blame, but you have no idea what I've been through. What's next for Nate? The fallout from Amy's deception left Nate questioning everything. His judgment, his relationships, and his ability to trust. Audra, having fought tooth and nail to protect him, stood by his side, ready to rebuild their connection. But the scars left by Amy's betrayal wouldn't fade easily. And while she had been defeated, the question remained, what had truly driven her to target Nate? And would she stay gone for good? As for Audra, she had proven her love for Nate in the most difficult way possible. Now, it was up to him to decide whether he could fully trust her, or if his own insecurities would drive them apart once more.